Hi guys, Fireplace here and welcome back to another YouTube video on the channel. And today guys, we're going to be predicting every game of the 2022 AFL season. Alright guys, now before I get into this, I want to say this idea was inspired by UCAT's idea, so shout out to UCAT. And maybe by the time this is uploaded, some other AFL YouTubers may have done this same thing. Alright guys, but today I'm going to be predicting every game of the 2022 AFL season. This is in a two-part thing. My unofficial tips going out about now, and my official tips going out later, January, February. Alright, just so then, because look, there's some news. There will be some more news from the AFL, you'd think, before those times, which may impact the predictions. So, first game, I'm going to say D's are going to win it. Carlton, Richmond, I'm going to say Richmond to do that. St Kilda, Collingwood, I'm going to say St Kilda. Geelong, Essendon, Geelong. GWS, Sydney, I'm going to say Sydney on that one, just by a little bit more than that. Yeah. Brisbane, Port Adelaide, Brisbane to win. By a fair bit, actually. Hawthorn, North. I'm going to say Hawthorn that time. Adelaide, Freo, I'm going to say Freo. Pretty convincingly in the end. West Coast, Gold Coast, I'm going to say Gold Coast. I meant not Gold Coast, West Coast. After round one, there's your ladder. Brisbane, I mean not Brisbane. Western Bulldogs, Carlton, I'm going to say Western Bulldogs. Sydney, Geelong, Sydney. Collingwood, Adelaide. Again, this one could go either way, for sure. But I'm going to say Collingwood. Essendon, Brisbane, I'm going to say Brisbane. Port Adelaide, Hawthorn, I'm going to say Port Adelaide. Gold Coast, Melbourne, definitely Melbourne. North Melbourne, West Coast, again, could go either way. I'm going to say North in a close game with the Eagles. Richmond, GWS, I'm going to say Richmond. I think they'll be really getting back into a groove this season with the Richmond Tigers. So, yeah, Fremantle, St Kilda, I reckon Fremantle will get the job done. And then I reckon Dogs, Swans, Marvel, I'm going to have to take the Dogs. Melbourne, Essendon, Melbourne, Adelaide, Port Adelaide for sure. GWS, Gold Coast, GWS, well, a little bit of a smaller margin. Actually, nah, I reckon GWS will smash them. Collingwood, Geelong, I'm going to say Geelong. Brisbane North, I'm going to say Brisbane. Carlton, Hawthorn, I'm going to say Carlton. And then St Kilda, Richmond, I'm going to say, probably going to say Richmond. Yeah, I'm going to say Richmond. West Coast, Freo, I'm going to say Freo with a nice big derby win. Port Adelaide, Melbourne, well, that's the end of round 3. So after round 3, there's your ladder. 3-0 for Richmond, Melbourne, Freo, and Brisbane. Now that Port Adelaide, Melbourne. Could go either way. I'm going to say Port Adelaide could hand Melbourne a loss here. So I'm going to say Melbourne get their first loss. Brisbane, Geelong, I'm going to say Geelong at Kardinia Park. Sydney North, I'm going to say Sydney. Collingwood, West Coast, I'm going to have to say Collingwood. Richmond, Western Bulldogs. Freo, GWS, Freo. Essendon, Adelaide, Essendon. Hawthorn, St Kilda. Gold Coast, Carlton. And that ends round 4. So, that ends round 4. Freo are the only team that are undefeated right now. Brisbane, but look, if you go and have a little look at Freo right now, Adelaide, St Kilda, West Coast, GWS, not a too hard of a run to start off with, for sure. I'm just trying to get it back to everyone. All right, Brisbane, Collingwood, I'm going to say Brisbane. Northwestern Bulldogs, I'm going to say it's another big win of the round. Western Bulldogs. West Coast, Sydney. St Kilda, Gold Coast, St Kilda. I'm going to say St Kilda by a bit of a bigger margin because it's at the Docklands. I'm just going to change those scores to 108 to 66 instead. Adelaide, Richmond, I'm going to have to say, Richmond by a decent margin in the end. Melbourne, GWS, Melbourne, who are 4-1 right now. Carlton, Port Adelaide, I'm going to say Port Adelaide. Essendon, Freo, again, could be really close. I'm going to say Essendon in a really close game. And it hands Freo their first loss, which Freo can do it. Freo can do this game, so I'm going to say they will. Hawthorn, Geelong, GWS, St Kilda, Manuka, could go either way. St Kilda could definitely win there, but I'm going to say GWS. Dogs, Adelaide, definitely be the Dogs. Port Adelaide, West Coast, another big win for Port Adelaide. Freo, Carlton, I'm going to say Freo. Look at that. They are 6-0. North Melbourne, Geelong. And I'm actually just going to change up Freo's real quick. I am just going to do something for Freo because they definitely can't go 6-0. There is definitely no way. So I'm going to change this one at Optus to the Giants win. Because, well, yeah, I mean, look, everyone would love a team to go like that well, but like I just don't think that's really going to happen. Unfortunately enough, Geelong Freo at Cardinia Park. Well, there you go. Big loss for the Dockers. Maybe I should change that game back now to that one because I actually do believe that the Dockers would definitely be winning that one. So yeah, let's just change it back. Now we have. Well, oh yeah, because we're only doing Freo games. Oops, I forgot about that. Okay, right. So where are we up to? We are up to North Geelong. I'm gonna say Geelong that time. Pretty convincingly. Gold Coast, Brisbane, Richmond, Melbourne, Hawthorn, Sydney, Essendon, Collingwood, Essendon, West Coast, Richmond, and then yes, West Coast, Richmond, Adelaide, GWS, Melbourne, Hawthorn, Melbourne, St Kilda, Port Adelaide at the Upper Cazales. I still think Port Adelaide will do the job, get the job done up there. Carlton North, Carlton, Collingwood, Gold Coast, Collingwood, Western Bulldogs, Essendon, Western Bulldogs, Sydney, Brisbane, Sydney, Port Adelaide, Western Bulldogs. Could definitely, well, there's your ladder after round 7. Gold Coast, Adelaide are the teams without a win. Port Adelaide, Western Bulldogs, again, Port Adelaide could definitely win, but I'm going to say that the Western Bulldogs will get the job done. Fremantle North, I'm going to say that Freo will get the job done as well. Richmond, Collingwood, I'm going to say Richmond. Sydney, Gold Coast, Sydney. GWS, Geelong at Manuka. I'm going to have to say Geelong, which now, look at GWS, they're falling into 10th. Essendon, Hawthorn, Essendon. Brisbane, West Coast, Brisbane. Melbourne, St Kilda, Melbourne. Even in a little bit of a close-ish game. Carlton, Adelaide, Carlton. Collingwood, Western Bulldogs. Hawthorn, Richmond. North Melbourne, Port Adelaide. St Kilda, I'm going to say Port Adelaide by a little bit more. St Kilda, Geelong. Docklands, close. I'm going to say Geelong though. Sydney, Essendon. Sydney. Adelaide, Brisbane. Gold Coast, Freo. GWS, Carlton. I'm going to say GWS. West Coast, Melbourne. I'm going to say Melbourne. Carlton, Sydney. Oh, hang on. That's after round 9. See you later. After round 9. There you go. Dogs, Sydney, Melbourne, Geelong, and Fremantle all on 8-1 now. I do know that Freo's fixture does start to get harder later on in the season, so they're going to definitely start taking some losses soon. Carlton, Sydney, Geelong, Port Adelaide, Cardinia Park. Again, this one could go either way. I'm going to say, because Port Adelaide don't have a lot of experience down there, I just simply have to say Geelong. GWS, West Coast, GWS, Hawthorn, Brisbane, North Melbourne, Melbourne, Richmond, Essendon could go either way as well. I'm going to say Essendon, though this time I can Essendon going to really string it together. Western Bulldogs, Gold Coast, Western Bulldogs for sure. Adelaide, St Kilda, Fremantle, Collingwood, Fremantle, Brisbane, GWS, Brisbane, at their Gabba Fortress up there. Collingwood, Carlton, again, could go either way. They are 12th, 13th. I definitely think Collingwood could get the job done. And I'm going to say Carlton, though. Geelong, Adelaide, getting a massive win down there. Melbourne, Freo, Melbourne. Again, now they're Freo starting to get some losses on the board, 9-2. St Kilda, North Melbourne, definitely St Kilda. Sydney, Richmond, Sydney. Gold Coast, Hawthorn. Port Adelaide, Essendon, Port Adelaide. West Coast, Western Bulldogs. Hawthorn, Collingwood. I'm gonna say Collingwood that time. Melbourne, Sydney. Again, another game that could go either way. MCG. I reckon the Swans can do it. I reckon the Swans can definitely knock off the Ds. And then the Bulldogs, Geelong Bulldogs can do that. Wow. Adelaide, West Coast. I reckon Adelaide can get their first win of the season here. And Gold Coast North, same. Gold Coast can do the same thing. Getting some first wins of the season on the board here. Fremantle, Brisbane, they're just too strong at Brisbane. And then there you go, your ladder after round 12. There you have it. There is your ladder after round 12. Every team now has a win and a loss. Brisbane, St Kilda, I'm going to say Brisbane. Collingwood, Melbourne, I'm going to say Melbourne. And then Essendon, I'm just going to bring that margin in a little bit. Essendon, Carlton, I'm going to say Essendon. North Melbourne, GWS. Wait, where was that game? Oh, no, I don't want to go into YouTube. North Melbourne, GWS, I'm going to have to say, yeah, GWS. Richmond, Port Adelaide, I'm going to say, tough one. Still, it's a very tough one. I do think Port Adelaide could definitely get the job done at the MCG, so I'm just going to have to say Port. Freo, Hawthorn, Freo, Gold Coast, Adelaide. Adelaide, I reckon, can get the job done. GWS, Western Bulldogs, Sydney Showground, Western Bulldogs, Richmond, Carlton, Richmond, St Kilda, Essendon. I'm just going to move that margin up a little bit. St Kilda, Essendon, again, could go either way. I'm going to say Essendon. Port Adelaide, Sydney. Port Adelaide, even though... Well, actually, I could actually see Sydney winning that. I'm going to go for an upset. We're going to say Sydney. West Coast, Geelong. I'm going to say Geelong. Carlton, Freo. Ooh. I reckon Freo can just do that. Collingwood, GWS. I'm going to say GWS. Geelong, Richmond. I'm going to say Geelong. Melbourne, Brisbane. Again, another... Could be a game that Melbourne could lose, but I'm going to say Brisbane. North Melbourne, Adelaide, I'm going to say North. Sydney, St Kilda, Sydney. Western Bulldogs, Hawthorn, Western Bulldogs. Port Adelaide, Gold Coast, Port Adelaide. West Coast, Essendon. Essendon. So then now there is your ladder after round 15. Things looking a little bit different now. Western Bulldogs and Sydney only have the one loss so far. Brisbane, Western Bulldogs. Make that 2 losses for the Western Bulldogs. Look, the Dogs could definitely win that, but I just think that it'll be Brisbane's game, that one. Carlton, St Kilda. St Kilda will win it and definitely hope to really try and keep their finals hopes alive. Essendon, Sydney, MCG. Sydney. Geelong North. Geelong. Gold Coast, Collingwood, although Gold Coast could win it. GWS, Hawthorn, tough one. GWS though. Richmond, West Coast, MCG, Richmond. Adelaide, Melbourne. Freo, Port, I'm going to have to say Port there. Brisbane, Essendon, Brisbane. Collingwood North, Collingwood. Geelong, Melbourne, I reckon. Now they still got Sydney who need to lose another couple of games. Gold Coast, Richmond. I'm going to say Richmond. Hawthorn, Adelaide, I'm going to say Hawthorn. St Kilda, Freo. Docklands, I'm going to say St Kilda that time. Sydney, Western Bulldogs, again, I reckon this is definitely one that the Swans could win. I reckon they will win it, but instead, I am just going to go change that Sydney-Port Adelaide game, because I think, realistically, I reckon I have to have Port winning that one. 91-84, I reckon that time. I reckon that just makes a little bit more sense. We don't want to do all Sydney games now, though. We want to do Port Adelaide, GWS. Which I reckon that'll be Port Adelaide's game. West Coast, Carlton could go either way. I'm going to say West Coast, Carlton, Geelong. Well, anyway, here's your ladder after round 17. Definitely some changes there. Melbourne now are top. And now Carlton, Geelong. I'm going to say Geelong. A little bit more than that. Essendon, Gold Coast, Essendon. GWS, Brisbane, again, could definitely go either way at Manuka. GWS are sitting outside the 8. They need to win this one, which I think it's probably just out of their reach. So I'm going to say that Brisbane will win that. Hawthorn, West Coast. MCG, again, could go either way. I'm going to say West Coast. Actually, North Melbourne, Richmond, I'm going to say Richmond. Western Bulldogs, St Kilda, I'm going to say the Western Bulldogs. Adelaide, Collingwood, could go either way. I'm going to say Collingwood. Melbourne, Port Adelaide, Traeger Park. Could be interesting. I definitely think there that Port Adelaide could do it. I think they will do it. I think they'll outclass the Demons in footy that game. Look, Port Adelaide 14-3. Wow. A lot of these teams are top class. Freo, Sydney. Gonna have to say Freo. Although I definitely think the Swans could definitely do that. In fact, you know what? We'll do Sydney. Brisbane, Gold Coast, Brisbane to win that. Carlton, GWS. Collingwood, Essendon. This is to keep their finals hopes alive, really, for Essendon now. They need it. They need to keep them from somewhere. North Melbourne, Hawthorn. I definitely think North could do that. Richmond, Freo. That is a big game for Freo, and I reckon Richmond are going to win it. Sydney, Adelaide, Sydney for sure. Western Bulldogs, Melbourne again. Could definitely go either way. I'm going to say Melbourne to win it, however. Port Adelaide, Geelong, Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide should get the job done, and I reckon St Kilda should be able to beat West Coast. Collingwood, Port Adelaide. Essendon, North, Essendon. Geelong, Western Bulldogs. Cardinia Park, I think that has to be Geelong there. Although I am going to say the Western Bulldogs. I think that's just a little bit more realistic. Gold Coast, West Coast, I'm going to say West Coast. Richmond, Brisbane at the MCG, I'm going to say Richmond. St Kilda, Hawthorn, St Kilda. Sydney, GWS, Sydney. Adelaide, Carlton, Adelaide. Fremantle, Melbourne. That is ladder after round 20. Look at that. That is massive now. Teams that can make the finals. I would still say here, Essendon, St Kilda, GWS are a chance to make the finals. All right, let's see. So, let's go. Brisbane, Carlton, I'm going to say Brisbane. Big game, that one. Geelong, St Kilda, Cardinia Park, I'm going to say Geelong. GWS, Essendon, this is a big game here, and I'm going to say GWS. Hawthorn, Gold Coast, I'm going to say Hawthorn. Melbourne, Collingwood, I'm going to have to say Melbourne. North Melbourne, Sydney, that's Sydney's game. Western Bulldogs, Fremantle, that's the Dogs there for short. Port Adelaide, Richmond, Port Adelaide. West Coast, Adelaide, West Coast, by a bit more than that. Essendon, Port Adelaide. Gold Coast, Geelong. Was that after round 21? All right, we're going to see the ladder after round 22 in a minute. Melbourne, Carlton. Melbourne. Richmond to defeat Hawthorn. And Brisbane to defeat the Saints. Sydney to defeat the Pies. The Western Bulldogs will get over the Giants. And then the Crows can beat the Roos. And before Freo defeat West Coast. So now the round 23 is going to look a little bit like this now. So you have Sydney top, Melbourne second, Port Adelaide third, fourth Brisbane, fifth the Western Bulldogs, sixth Geelong, seventh Richmond, eighth Freo. So it is not enough to get Essendon or GWS or St Kilda into the 8. Now let's see. Brisbane, Melbourne at the Gabba. This one could definitely go either way, but I'm going to say Melbourne to do it. Carlton, Collingwood, I think Collingwood would be too good in that game. Essendon, Richmond, I'm going to say there, Richmond will definitely win that one. Geelong, West Coast, good game for Geelong there. Really important game there, winning by plenty. GWS, Freo, Monica. I think that just shows that the GWS were looking for a late finals chance. Hope they just didn't get it. Western Bulldogs will defeat Hawthorn. North Melbourne could defeat Gold Coast, which I think they definitely will do so. St Kilda, Sydney, I'm going to say Sydney there, which definitely keeps their winning streak up, and Port Adelaide, Port Adelaide. So there you have it. I'm going to definitely have to go with a couple of these Sydney games. So I think a couple of them are a little bit wayward there, especially like them beating Melbourne at the MCG. That's just not going to happen. You're not going to find that happens. You're going to find that it's going to be Melbourne winning that one there. So there you go. Let's just see if I think anyone else could knock over Melbourne. Like maybe the Western Bulldogs. They beat them twice. I'm going to say later in the year, the Dogs are going to do it. But then Melbourne are going to definitely feast on the Suns, percentage-wise. Like, absolutely get a feast out of them. And then we're going to say that they're going to beat Essendon by a little bit more. Oh, hey, hang on. Wait, that one went wrong. That one was not meant to go like that. That was meant to be Essendon, like Melbourne on the other side. There you go. That is the ladder. So that is what I'm predicting this year to be like. I think I'm pretty well good. I mean, probably not with the amount of wins and all that, but I think it'll go Melbourne, Western Bulldogs, Sydney, Port Adelaide, Geelong, Brisbane, Richmond, Fremantle rounding out the 8. And then you got GWS, Essendon, St Kilda, Collingwood, Carlton, West Coast, Hawthorn, Adelaide, North, Gold Coast. So Melbourne will defeat Port Adelaide in the first game. Geelong defeat Freo. Brisbane defeat Richmond. And we'll do it that the Swans can defeat the Dogs. Then we'll go the Western Bulldogs to defeat the Lions. And I think Port could definitely defeat Geelong. Now they've got a grand final rematch in the prelims, so they're not going to be able to both go through. I'm going to have to say Melbourne. I'm going to have to say Sydney. Melbourne go back-to-back. That's all I'm going to be able to say, though. If you guys want to have a little bit of a look at the fixture, I'll put it up there for you guys now. There's a certain point that you guys want to stop at. Make sure that you can put it in slow or pause it or something. If you guys want to see every game that I tipped. If you missed out, there you go. There's your opportunity to do that now. Pause it, whatever. But yeah, again, UCAT inspired me with this idea, and maybe some other AFL YouTubers by the time this goes out. But I do hope that you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you guys will never miss another video on this channel. Bye, guys. Fire plays out. Thanks for watching. So, bye, guys. Fire plays out.